lobby? It was just like all of the folks of
Vice
degenerate
district.
nature.
It was
and-
definitely an early queer space.
The lobby is the near south loop
Prairie
area.
Avenue.
Are we talking about the Elderly Club?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe we'll take one or two more questions and then wrap it up.
Did you have a question then?
Oh, yes, hi. I wanted to ask about what you think about the current moment in terms of collecting and developing archives. I knew Archie over a long period of time, way back, in the 70s and so on. And at that time, it seemed to me, I wasn't on the inside of CHS, but that he had pretty much free reign to go out and bring in almost anything that he thought was valuable.
Yeah.
And it was a fantastic, expansive time
Yes.
because he had a very big vision of what Chicago history was. And he was able to collect boxes, and this is my impression, boxes of material and put it in the basement and not worry too much about whether it was going to be processed or be available.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of climate has changed now in that, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that now I think museums are more aware of the fact that they need to turn this material around and make it available and so on. And so I'm just wondering about that in relationship to Gerber Hart and their archive development, whether, how that might relate to the archives policy at CHM. I mean, it seems that we're very, very lucky that Archie was able to do what he did because now you have the material and, decades later we can go back and invest resources in processing it and making it available. And should Gerber Hart just be pulling in a lot of material and not worrying about this, thinking of it, or are they under some sort of obligation to?
Norman's looking at me.
All right, well, you get what I'm
That's a
saying.
great question. So in some ways I'm really jealous of what Archie was able to do because he certainly did have that expansive vision and made, cultivated relationships and was able to make agreements and bring in incredible amounts of material and tremendously valuable collections very independently. He really had the agency to do that, and we don't have that nowadays. So in increasing years, we have shifted our practices as curators and collection managers who form a collection committee to approve and go through an entire agenda of collecting. The curators are now in charge of making all of the decisions about what comes into the building, and we go through them together. So it really is a committee effort. Sometimes we don't always get what we want, and you can champion something, and if you're outvoted, you're outvoted. You can try again and try again. So we have attempted to rein in for very practical purposes. Mainly the ability to store and to afford to store material and to also make it available. So if you can't serve it and people don't know about it, it doesn't really do any good. If people don't know about it, and it's just sitting in the dark somewhere, even for the purposes of serving it in a research center, it's not going to happen. And so we don't want for that to happen. If we bring in a collection, we want to be able to make it processed and served in a timely manner.
But if you don't have the resources to process it quickly, would you find a sister organization to take the material?
You could. I mean, and that, it doesn't, we don't all have to be imperial about things, and we don't need to have that possession. Maybe collections do belong somewhere else. And we do take
so
steps
they're not
to
lost.
recommend. Exactly, and that's the point. The point is to preserve, not necessarily so you can claim ownership or possession of a collection. So sometimes another institution is the best place for it. And if we can't collect something but we think that it should be collected and preserved, then we will reach out to another institution or make those recommendations. And there are times when it kind of kills you that you just can't, you really want to bring something in, you can't. We don't really have that kind of free reign today.
So
But we still look back on Archie's work and say, thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God it's here.
A little earlier tonight, someone asked me what nerd talk means. So does everybody know what it means now?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, Jill, thank you very much. It was extremely. I would award them to you, but I
I
don't.
got
So
some new glasses and someone said they do look.
we'll put some tape on for you.
Yeah, I should have been with the tape. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks again, Jill, for all that fascinating fodder. It's really interesting to think about all the areas. I mean, starting in the 1840s. I mean, that's just insane. I wonder, you know, were those people gay, and that's why they were interested in collecting it? You guys have asked that question. But
Yes, you
anyway,
do.
yeah. So thank you to everybody for coming tonight, and for Marianne again for hosting us in your wonderful home.
Oh, what you're saying, there was no food fight. No, okay, well, we can begin.
For those of you who don't know, the Gerber Hart Library and Archives is open and has been open for a little bit more than 6 months now after its recent closing. And just briefly, not to bore you with statistics, but we've had about 1,000 hours of volunteers coming into the organization. We've seen almost 250 visitors to the organization and had almost 100 research hours performed in this time period as well. It's pretty awesome, isn't it?
It is awesome.
And as well as starting to rev up our fundraising machine, and we didn't charge you to get in, but we would be happy to charge you to get out. And we have not only the ability to take checks, but we have the little gizmo square. So if you forgot your checkbook, but you brought your credit card, we'd be happy to take that as well. But regardless, we're just glad that you're here, and we hope you come out to the organization, see what's going on up there, check out the library, take a tour of the archives or the special collections, and just join us in preserving the history for the future generations. So thank you very much.
Would you tell them where we're at and what our hours are?
We're at 6500 North Clark Street, which is just north of Devon Avenue. There's a big police station. We're just past that. We're upstairs, so you just have to kind of wander through the door. There's an elevator. There's a staircase.
There's a parking lot.
There is a parking lot. That's an excellent point. And excuse me, our current open hours
Is our
are.
lot just south of the
It's just north of the building.
north of the building?
Mhm.
Okay.
And we're open from 6 to 9 on Thursday evenings and from 12 to 6 on Saturdays. And we hope to be adding some more hours soon. So please do come up and visit us and tell your friends so everybody knows that we're back in business and happy to
I'm sure you're
entertain
online.
visitors.
Yeah.
We are online, and we will be releasing a new and exciting website in a very short time. Yes, Gary?
Maybe you should introduce Lucas
Yes.
for those
Oh,
folks that.
the man behind the camera is Lucas McKeever, and Lucas is our administrator and man about everything, grant writer, archive organizer, people greeter, and just a wonderful person who we're honored to have as our full-time staff person at the organization. So you can always reach out to him if you have any questions or want a tour, and he's really good at the tour. So thanks, Lucas. I think that's all. There might be a little bit more wine, a little bit more cheese. So thanks again
Yeah,
for
no
being here.
leftovers are permitted.
No leftovers, so better get at it.